We are on the road to redemption. Welcome to the Beyond the Junkyard podcast. I am your host, Junkyard James, and with me today, back for the first time in a few weeks. We had last week off. The week before, he couldn't make it, but he's back. It's Kody Marinara. How are you doing, my friend?
We're doing all right. It's a very wet, rainy, dreary Thursday, but we're here. Um, if I would have showed up a couple weeks ago on the show, I think I would have had a great mid card meltdown, but that didn't happen, and still a little salty after all that took place a couple weeks ago. But you know what? We're okay. We're alive. We're doing good. Um, Let me tell you that having a newborn and having no water is not exactly the most fun experience in the world, but we made do. We made it work. I now know what it's kind of like to live in a third world country. Not truly, really, but it felt like it. Um, but yeah, that was not a fun week. Really, 2 weeks. Yeah, we're here. We're doing good. But if I would have known that this whole rainstorm would have happened this week, if this happened a couple weeks ago, we would have had plenty of buckets outside to collect some rainwater. We would have been using that. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, we're doing pretty good. How about yourself, sir?
we're doing pretty good over here as well. It is. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I just woke up about 5 minutes ago, and then I about you know what it's like when you like sleep over your alarm when you need to get to work, and you're like, oh shoot, we're late. I about had that moment. I didn't realize I was as exhausted as I was, but apparently I needed a nap before the day's show. But what that means is we should be good to go for the entirety of the show. There shouldn't be any yawning on this side of let's just say that. You know what I was missing though? I just haven't had my dose of Dubby energy. Your Dubbies is your taste buds favorite energy drink, um they I just haven't had it today, and so that's why I just crashed. See, if you use Dubby is that powdered energy drink that replaces those other caffeine beverage companies. That contains zero maltodextrin, zero fillers, zero artificial colors and dyes, and none of those so-called energy proprietary blends that they use. They use coffee bean extract or coffee fruit extract to give you a jitterless, crash-free energy experience. And if I would have just used my Dubby today, maybe I wouldn't have needed a mid-afternoon nap. You can use Dubby today. Go to w.gg, use the code Beyond the Yard, and you can save 10% on your order. All right, enough with the media plugs here. Let's jump into today's show. I thought it would be fun. We're in the week leading up to AEW Redemption. I thought it would be fun to put you to the test, my friend, to see how knowledgeable you are. And I don't know. I kind of gave you enough time to look this up, and maybe you wrote it down. I don't know if you did or not. To see if you could name the, according to cagematch.net, what they say the top 10 highest ranked cage match ranking pay-per-view matches of all time in AEW's history. some of these are kind of shocking. Some of these I just remember looking back and thinking, yeah, this is probably a good call. So let's see. Can you get the top 10? The floor is yours, my friend. Can you get the top 10 pay-per-view
Uh,
matches of all time?
okay, good. So I kind of misheard. I didn't know if you meant like of all time, and this included Dark, Elevation, Dynamite, Collision, Rampage, all that good stuff, or if it was strictly pay-per-views. So strictly pay-per-view, right?
Strictly pay-per-view. Yes, sir.
Okay. I promise you, I'm not cheating. I'm on my phone, but I was literally texting on the phone, but I wasn't looking up anything. All right. So top 10 pay-per-view matches as per Cage Match. I'm probably not going to get half of these, but I'm just going to try to take my best stab as I can. Am I allowed a couple hints? Because there's been a lot of pay-per-views, a lot of pay-per-view matches in the 7 years of AEW's history. Um,
I can help swerve you along the way.
okay. Let me first start, and this is going to be probably the best way that I'm going to try to do this, is go year by year. Is there any in 2019?
No,
That's shocking, but interesting. Okay. 2020.
no.
That's a little more shocking, but okay. 2021.
We have one in 2021.
Did it happen to be at a pay-per-view called All Out?
No.
That's even more shocking. Oh, wow.
I think the 2021 All Out match that I think you're thinking of just misses the top 10, and it's 12th.
The tag team cage match?
Yep.
Damn. That's crazy to me. That didn't make the cut. Okay. Is it a tag match?
No.
Okay. Singles 101?
Singles 1v1.
Did it happen at Revolution?
No.
Double or nothing.
No.
Full gear.
Full gear.
Full gear 2021. Jesus. Man. Is Kenny Omega part of the match?
Yes.
Did he fight Hangman?
Kenny versus Hangman, Full Gear 21, sits at number 10, ranked
It's fucking
9.32 out of 10. That Lucha Bros Young Bucks match misses the cut by 0.02.
I think I would have put that match over that one, to be honest with you. That's just my personal opinion. Alrighty. So 2022, I'm sure has a couple.
No,
The entirety of 2022 doesn't have one.
doesn't have one.
This is so heavily biased over the last couple of years. 2023.
2023 has 1, 2, 3.
Okay. It's one of them at All in London.
No.
Okay.
So 2 of these are include the same guy.
CM Punk. Bryan Danielson.
Bryan Danielson.
One of them was MJF at Revolution.
That's number 9, Danielson and MJF, the 60-minute Iron Man match.
Oh boy. So the other one involves Danielson, 23. Did it happen at Forbidden Door?
So there is a match at Forbidden Door 23, but that's not the Danielson match.
That Omega versus Osprey?
Omega Osprey is 6.
Okay. Full gear then?
I think this was the first rendition of this pay-per-view, which is Wrestle Dream.
Oh. Danielson and this wasn't Hangman, was it?
It's not Hangman.
Was it a member of the Death Riders currently?
No.
Swerve?
So this guy, he shows up every now and again, usually around Forbidden Door season. They had like
The New Japan guy or no?
Yes, New Japan guy. I think
Wasn't Naito, was it?
the idea on this match was they were to fight to determine who the best technical wrestler was.
Oh, Zack Sabre Jr. Okay.
Zack Sabre Jr. Yep. So that's 8. All right.
2020 was that the rest of 23? Beginning
That was all. Yep, that's all of 23. So 2024 has 1, 2, 3 matches.
Have we so far gone in order 10, 9, 8? Or
No,
we
so
okay.
we've done 10, 9, 8, and 6. 10, 9, 8, and 6.
Okay, so we've already kind of gone out of order. Okay, good, because the first match I'm going to say is definitely probably out of order, and that has to be Takeshita versus Ospreay Revolution.
That is number 7.
Okay. So now we got 6 through 10.
Yep. So now we got the top 5.
Just out of curiosity, Sting's last match isn't on there, is it?
No.
I didn't think so, and that's fine. I just sometimes, for nostalgic reasons, throw that in there. MJF versus Ospreay at All in London.
No.
Danielson versus Swerve at All in London.
No.
Ospreay versus Danielson at Dynasty.
That is number 1.
Nah, that's hard to top that one.
So you got
you have one more in 2024.
One more. It's at All Out. And
Danielson match.
I'll give you the stip. Lights Out, Steel Cage.
Oh, that was Swerve and Hangman. Okay.
Swerve and Hangman. Lights Out, Steel Cage. Number 4. So we got 5, 3, and 2. And we got 2 in 2025 and 1 in 2026.
The 2 in 2025. Do they both involve Will Ospreay?
One does.
2025. Why all of a sudden I'm drawing a blank on 2025? I don't know. Oh, Hangman versus Ospreay at Double or Nothing.
That's number 2. So we got 3 and 5 remaining. 1 in 2025, 1 in 2026.
The other in 2025, does it involve Omega?
This is the only match in the top 10 that is a women's match.
Women, 2025.
Yep.
Mercedes. No.
I'll give you the pay-per-view. Revolution. 2025.
Involve Willow? Boy, I'm really drawing a blank here.
This was the final match of this saga. And the final match.
Tony Storm and Mariah May. Okay.
There it is. Number 3, Tony Storm, Mariah May, which leaves us with the last one, 2026.
Ospreay match?
No.
Omega match?
No.
MJF?
No, sir. It's happened at Double or Nothing 2026. Now, I'll give you this
team match.
It's not a tag team match.
The Stadium Stampede.
I don't know why this is ranked as high as it is, because it was a good match. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't have ranked it this high.
Is it like a mid card match?
On the pay-per-view, technically yes. I I'll probably
Was
give
it
it
for
away.
was it for a title?
It was. This was the first match they ever announced for Double or Nothing, 2026.
Oh, the international title. Uh, Okada and Takeshita.
Okada versus Takeshita.
Okay.
The matches that just missed. 11 was Kyle Fletcher versus Ospreay at Revolution 25, which I thought that was a really good match. Like Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros at All Out 21 was 12. 13, the match Dave Meltzer refuses to rank. Maya World versus Mercedes Moné at Forbidden Door 2026. Hey, by the way, Dave, we're 28 days or so since that match, and you still haven't given it a star ranking.
He said why?
He hasn't had the time, apparently, even though he ranked the entire show. Here's his first excuse. His first excuse was the crowd, because he was there live. It was in San Jose. That's where he lives. So he went there live. He was like, the crowd at the show wasn't very good, so I have to rewatch it on the TV broadcast, and just hasn't rewatched it yet. The reality is he's going to give it a 3-star match, and he knows that once he does that, the fans are going to bitch and moan because it was probably deserving of a pretty, like a 4.5 or 5-star match. So,
Got it.
all right, but let's jump in. Let's switch gears. Let's cut some promos on some stuff that pissed us off this last couple of weeks. I'll let you have the floor. Is there anything wrestling, not wrestling related that you want to cut a promo on and just go all out on?
Anson County water infrastructure, that's for sure. I don't know how many counties are in North Carolina, but we were the only one that had the main water breaks over the last couple of weeks. When I tell you that we had more than just a couple people that were pissed off, that's an understatement. Yeah, that sucked. That was not fun at all. As far as wrestling news goes, really the biggest gripe. I have two big gripes, and then because I haven't been here in a couple of weeks, so I gotta release all the problems. One is he's upset too. He knows what I'm about to say, and we've had this conversation. So he's like, "Yeah, I'm mad at that too, Dad." The world title changes on television. Why? Why do we keep doing this? Why? Popping a rating is so stupid. I just don't get it. I really don't. And then I have another gripe, and we'll get to it in a little bit. But Omega obviously beating MJF, and then Punk defeating Sami Zayn. So Sami gets a 9-day world title reign. Makes no sense.
Did you see? I mentioned it the week you were out, but did you see why Tony Khan puts all the titles on free TV so often? Did you see what his answer was to that question?
Does that have something to do with not everybody can watch a pay-per-view, so this is his way of trying to give something to those that can't either afford or can't watch a pay-per-view?
Yep.
And it's his way of doing that. It's like, okay, that's fine, but again, you have to entice your audience to do it.
Right. My problem, I think I expressed this in that episode, but I'll say it again. My problem with that response is those people, I don't know if those, like, you're going to ruin the legacy of a title by putting it on free TV, because we use WWE, I guess, for a good example for this. Like, what good did that title reign? What did that give Sami Zayn other than just a good pop at a pay-per-view, like to win a title? He did nothing with it. He's not in a better spot Like that was like my concern um with even and we know it's going to happen at Wembley, but like what happens with Kenny Omega? Like the fact is they're going to have to make this stipulation, like the title match, have a bigger stake to it, because to make it feel like Omega's losing something. He's not. He's going to lose the belt. We know that already. Will Ospreay is going to win, but what stake does Kenny Omega? You know, what does Will Ospreay throw on the table here? Where does this put Kenny Omega? You know, after Wembley, because like it's not putting him in a better spot with this 2-month reign. So that's my biggest concern. Is you end up risking the legacy of the title if it becomes a TV. If the perception is it's a TV championship, what's the point of the belt? Like, it's your biggest belt. And I put this out last night that, like, Darby Allin's match last night, that's exactly where Darby Allin is supposed to be. Having really good TNT championship matches on TV. And by the way, Darby probably almost died again last night, but yeah. So no, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Anything else, my friend, before I go and rip into some people?
Yeah, that's really the biggest thing I have, and like I said, I kind of have a little bit of a gripe that'll come at the end of the show. Towards the end of the show, we'll get to it, but really, like kind of two, one's maybe towards the beginning, and the one's towards the end of our next segment. But I think that's all I have for the time being.
Awesome. All right, my biggest gripe is against wrestling media, and in particular, the announcement that David LaGreca made today, that whatever the Pro Wrestling Sirius XM station is being rebranded starting Monday to become WWE Radio. Not that it wasn't already WWE Radio before. I mean, those guys were the biggest stooges for the WWE. They didn't even hide their bias, but they presented themselves as if they were some neutral third party. And then now they're going to rebrand it to WWE Radio. And this is the concern here is like Dave LaGreca said, oh, the presentation is not going to change. We're still going to talk about, wrestling from whatever side of the aisle, but it's just going to be a bunch of slurping of WWE now, if not even more so. Any conversation that they had prior about AEW was already kind of from the negative, and it's probably just going to get even worse. I don't like it. I don't like the dishonesty from this the media source. So there's that piece, but then there was also this idea like Sammy Guevara allegedly took AEW out of his Twitter bio, and everybody was like, oh, he's leaving, he's going to WWE, and it turns out he never even had AEW in his Twitter bio ever in the first place. So and Tony Khan reiterated that there's no issues with him, though he is giving Tymello her release that she asked for, because I guess she no longer wants to wrestle anymore. She's a mom now, so good luck to her. He also reiterated that Anna Jay has re-signed with AEW but is injured, so that's why she hasn't been on TV. It's just all of this dishonesty from all this dishonesty from the media. I don't like it. Like, I don't like the wrestling landscape, the wrestling. It's all dishonest. It's all the like. Who else is the WWE paying? I like this one. My biggest gripe is that a Gamecock fan. You're seeing. I don't like it. I just can't pull it down. I'd get chewed out if I took the flag down.
I have a comment. not about Clemson so much, but a very, very, very side topic. I'm sorry to deviate from that, but um, obviously South Carolina is now switched from Under Armour to Nike. What are your thoughts on the new colors, look, feel? To me, I like it. It looks fine, but that might be the
The
nicest thing I've ever said about South Carolina coming from a Clemson fan. But
the
what's your thoughts?
the fan base is in an uproar because they've labeled because Nike doesn't have our exact garnet color.
Hey, welcome to the club. As a Commanders fan, they don't have burgundy.
So we're basically in the same family of like Arkansas and Alabama now. So they're going to give us whatever the closest variant to that is. I don't have a problem with it, and the reason I don't have a problem with it is because that Nike check fucking cashed, and we're able to get 5-star prospects now. So I don't. You can put purple jerseys on the motherfuckers. Like as long as we win games, I don't give a shit. And so I'm okay. I look. So here's the vision that I've understood from the Gamecocks, and is year one they didn't want to make any aggressive changes, so a lot of the jerseys are going to look the same. But in the near future, we're probably going to get some changes to what the jerseys look like. I'm okay with it. I'm cool with the deal. I would prefer in the long term Nike over Under Armour because I mean, what does Nike's paying us like 50 million a year, and Under Armour couldn't pay us 50 million throughout the entire contract of a career. So of the term there. So I mean, we'll take it, and we'll take the money, and we'll use the portal, and then we'll hopefully win 6 games. Um, no, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with what we got so far. Most of that money will go to our women's basketball program because Don Staley has already gotten like 87 pair of Nike shoes in Gamecock garnet and white and black. So, yeah. Oh goodness. Alrighty. Well, let's come to what we're all. Let's go to what we've all come here for, which is to predict AEW's pay-per-view this weekend, AEW Redemption. And I'm just going to go ahead and say this isn't a star-studded pay-per-view by any means. In some occasion, this is almost the equivalent of like a really good Dynamite card. But I think this might be a really good pay-per-view just from the matches that we got. I think we're going to have a pretty good pay-per-view. Your thoughts before we go match by match?
That's part of my problem, and one of my gripes with this show. First off, is it feels like just a glorified Dynamite and a ticket sales show. I mean, typically Canada's a good market for AEW for the most part, but they're in a 20,000 seat arena, you know, Central Bell Center, whatever you want to call it, Montreal. And as of this afternoon, they've only sold 6,400 tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And we're 3 days from the show. Cheapest ticket in Canadian dollars is $53.25. I'm not a Canadian, so I don't know if it's cheap, not cheap. I feel like that should come down. But none of the upper decks have opened. They're going to have a good showing on the lower level side, and they've kind of got like a little middle tier level that they've opened up a few tickets at. But it's going to be a little over quarter filled. I don't think they'll get to 10,000 before the show, so it's not going to be half full. It's going to be a good crowd as far as, it's probably going to get to 8,000, maybe 9,000. I doubt it. But why? Why are we, you still have to understand that AEW is still a far number 2.
Yep.
And even though you're in an international market like Canada, just because you can sell out a couple shows here and there in Canada doesn't mean that it's automatically just going to show up in waves and droves.
Right.
I feel like they should have done a little bit smaller venue, 10,000 seat arena, and at least say we sold out that arena versus going to a 20,000 seat arena. And for a pay-per-view, not probably get to have full. It's not a great look,
Yeah.
but the show
So
just feels weird overall, in my opinion.
yeah, and I like this question that our buddy Jason put in the comments. What is the equivalent, the WWE equivalent? Uh, and so my first question to add on top of this is this does this replace Wrestle Dream this year? Because I'm almost certain they've already given us the location for Full Gear, which typically happens after Wrestle Dream. So it just feels weird that they haven't given us a Wrestle Dream date yet. So I'm assuming this may just replace Wrestle Dream this year, unless they just haven't gotten a date and a time for Wrestle Dream yet. But what do you think? What's the WWE equivalent?
Well, to answer your first thing, I think Full Gear's, in my opinion, I think AEW has their four pillar pay per views: Revolution, Double or Nothing, All In,
Right.
maybe All Out, maybe Full Gear, and I think Full Gear is one of the top pillar pay per views, so they're going to announce that one ahead of time. But they may still have a Wrestle Dream, and they just haven't confirmed a date or a time. Um, Bojangles Coliseum must be just really busy that day. Um,
Or
or
maybe they're
Spectrum
wait
Center.
or maybe they're waiting it out because they know that if they announce a date now, WWE's just gonna book in the same town.
Well, they've already got the SmackDown for Charlotte in February of next year. Well, Raw was supposed to be in August, but they canceled it and replaced it with the SmackDown in February. So they've got a time frame that they could come to Charlotte if they really wanted to and not interfere with whatever WWE has a stranglehold on. Which,
Right.
side note, I signed up for that club WWE, by the way.
Oh, how pissed off are you that you get this exclusive content and they just post it on social media anyway?
I, I mean, I wanted to see what it was like, and they got my money, so it is what it is at this point. But I wanted to see if there's really any value to it. I don't have a value right now. I don't think there will be a value to it, but I wanted to be like, okay, let's just see what happens here. Um, but I'm a little frustrated with that for sure. But I would say a WWE comparison to to this show. Hmm,
It's good. This is a good answer, but something that
that's a good answer, especially when your biggest show of the year is the next month after. So Fastlane typically came before WrestleMania. Um, I would say maybe like a New Year's Revolution,
yeah.
um,
Yeah, the first thing that
something
came
like
to
that.
mind, yeah, the first thing that came to mind for me was like a backlash. Like in terms like backlash today is essentially just a SmackDown. um,
Yeah, but back in the day, the backlashes
yeah,
kind of were like
they were a pretty big pay-per-view
kind of,
back.
but they were like fallouts and mostly rematches from WrestleMania. And like the 1 or 2 years where they said it was WrestleMania Backlash, while like Cohen's a stupid name, it made sense because for years that was pretty much what the theme of the show was rematches from WrestleMania.
Right.
Um,
Well,
I would
well,
say, man, maybe like Judgment Day.
mm,
Um, because like I said, it's the month before a big show, so I'm trying to think of like shows that came before. Judgment Day usually came before, maybe SummerSlam, um, maybe like an Unforgiven. That's stuff like that. It's definitely a B tier, close to a C tier pay per view as far as like scheduling wise, but it's before kind of your bigger show, so it's
the
one of those things.
the equivalent has to be WWE Great Balls of Fire. I'm just messing. That pay-per-view sucked. Uh
Yeah, that was a one and done.
Alrighty. Yeah, let us know what you guys think. Fastlane is a good one. I'm thinking like the pay-per-view that always came in my mind, like when I think of pay-per-view before WrestleMania, was always Elimination Chamber. Um, and so I feel like this is kind of like that Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, but there's no stipulation matches, so it kind of doesn't fit. But um, I don't know. Like I said, this card isn't anything spectacular. There's going to have really good matches in it, no doubt. And I don't have the graphics because like I said earlier, I fell asleep. So, we're gonna you're just gonna look at our faces while we talk about them. I have the matches, but you're just gonna look at our faces. There's no graphics or anything. All right, the first match was announced, I think, after Dynamite last night. There's a 6-man ladder match with 4 contestants already confirmed. The other 2 will be announced after Collision, or after the matches on Collision Sunday. 6-way ladder match for the number 1 contendership for the AEW International Championship. The already announced members are Commander, Jungle Jack Perry, Speedball Bailey, the Beast Mortos, and then we get 2 more that have yet to be announced. There's 2 matches on Collision. I can't remember who's fighting. But I'm assuming because these 4 have been announced, one of the winner is going to be one of these 4. Who wins this 6-way ladder match for the number 1 contendership, which is a weird stipulation for a pay-per-view?
It is. That's your, hey, here's a really big gimmick match that's gonna have a lot of carnage, chaos, craziness, and it's just kind of a last ditch to either sell pay-per-views or sell tickets. With that being said, I am going to go with. I have to go with Mike Bailey. I don't like the guy, but it is in his backyard in Montreal, so it has to be him, right?
That was exactly my answer. I'm going with the hometown boy, Mike Bailey. I think wins this ladder match, and he'll get his international championship match. All right, then we get the no holds barred Painmaker versus Ciampa, Chris Jericho versus Tommaso Ciampa match. I don't like this match, to be honest. This feud should have been done and over with when Jericho and Ciampa last fought. But here we go. We have to have this rematch at a pay-per-view. Jericho lost, so now he's going to use his Painmaker gimmick. Who wins this one?
First of all, I want to give AEW kudos for actually having a beach break, and an actual beach in Clearwater on the banks there. I thought that venue and setup was really cool. They had the sand on the stage, made it look like a Bash at the Beach type of venue look. Kudos to AEW on that. Can we continue to have stuff like that going forward in the future, like having beach break at close to beaches? Give me more unique venues and setups. Like if we go to Canada in the winter, can we have it like called Frozen Frenzy or something like that, and have like hockey themed on the stage? I don't know. Yeah, I think Jericho gets his one. I don't mind this feud. I really, really don't. It's a little bit different. It's 2 older guys, but it's given them both something to do, and they've made the feud, to me, kind of good. Hey, you lied, by the way. You just yawned. You owe me $10.
No one saw that.
Just kidding. I don't mind the feud because it's not for a title. It's nothing like that. It's just 2 older guys, but it's like a respect thing or just a I don't like you type of thing, and I'm okay with it. But I definitely think it's going to be Jericho winning.
Yeah, if there was ever a match that was like classic wrestling booking, like it's like Tommaso got match 1, Jericho will win match 2, and then there's going to be a match 3. This would be this feud. I think, yeah, like you said, Chris Jericho will get his 1-uppance on at Redemption in Canada. The Canadian wins again. All right, that leads us to the Young Bucks fighting Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley. And my question for this match, other than who's going to win, is what purpose does this serve Will Ospreay? Because we know next month he's going for the title. Would it not be better to have him do something that gets him closer to fighting Kenny Omega, like a singles match or something that I don't know. I don't know what the purpose of this match is, I guess is what I'm saying. So what's the purpose of this match?
this may make no sense, but I could see one of two things happening. I could see Moxley and the Death Riders turn on Osprey. Does it make sense? Probably not, but it gives that um, sympathetic feel to Osprey, especially going to his home country next month, where he's already going to be the biggest face in the world. Um, or this could mean the Young Bucks will win and they try to get the Elite back in some sort of fashion, with the Bucks turning heel, Omega turning heel, maybe Hangman joins them again and turns. I don't know, but this is like this to me it feels weird, but it seems like there has to be something here that comes out of it to give Osprey an extra rub as a face going into London, because like I said, you can make him a heel in the 3 weeks leading up to Double or Nothing in America, and that may be fine. But as soon as they step overseas, he's going to be treated like a god, and that's where the show is. That's where the Dynamite before All In is in Glasgow. Makes no sense to turn Osprey heel when he's going to be cheered out of the building, both in Glasgow and London. Um, it's a weird match. I just, for some reason, have a feeling that Osprey and Moxley are going to lose. I think the Bucks win, and I think that's just the way to kind of give momentum for the 3 to 4 week arc, is to make Osprey seem like the sympathetic face and feel like all the odds are against him, and he's got all this pressure, and will he be able to withstand it?
Right.
And his home country, hometown, big stadium, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucks on this one.
Yeah, I think the Bucks win the match. I I just wonder. Like I feel like what ends up, they're gonna have to at some point in time pull, like, make it so that Will Osprey is um has his allegiance tested. Is he fully Death Rider or not? Um, I think this would be a good opportunity, because Osprey with the United Empire, if I recall correctly, he's still a never six-man champion with the United Empire and New Japan. So this would be fun. And Callum Newman has called him out several times as like a coward and a liar, and it's kind of building to that, the United Empire Death Riders kind of feud, that I think we'll see at some point. We might even see it at Wembley Stadium. Them have a trios match for that belt. I don't know if that will happen or not, but I wonder if they interfere in any way. I assume Wednesday we're in Detroit, that we'll get the Motor City Machine Guns popping back up on Wednesday night after the show. The first Dynamite after Redemption is the first show that the Motor City Machine Guns are free agents, and it happens to be in their hometown of Detroit, Michigan. Pretty good timing, I guess. At some point, we're gonna have to push the Bucks to fight for the world titles, and they teased it a little bit. With the Bucks talking to Cope and Christian, was it 2 weeks ago, I think? And so they're eventually going to have to push it there, and we gotta get there. So I guess to get there, the Young Bucks should probably win this match. So I'll go with the Young Bucks. And now we got an AEW National Championship match between Mark Davis of the Don Callis family and former Don Callis family member Andrade El Idolo. Who do you think wins this one?
I got Andrade winning this. I think that he's gonna kind of just get his one up on the Don Callis family. It's kind of awkward that Mark Davis had this championship to begin with, but I guess maybe that was a plan, is to get it off of Jack Perry, give it to a heel, and then have Andrade kind of turn on the Callis family. become a face and try to slowly start dethroning the Don Callis family in some way. So this would be a one step for him to try to do that. So I could see, I'm going to pick Andrade to win this match.
So regardless, we're starting to see some tension brewing in all sides of the Don Callis family here recently. And I kind of like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the family tension there. For some reason though, I just feel like Mark Davis is going to retain. I don't know why. This feels like one of them pay-per-views that we're not going to get a whole lot of title changes. Because I think a lot of the bulk of the title changes will happen at Wembley, and I don't think they want to have too many, titles swapping hands, within 4 weeks of each other. So I feel like a lot of these championships may be retained, and I'm going to pick Mark Davis to win this match. Though I wouldn't mind. I mean, Andrade's a great wrestler and very entertaining, and so I wouldn't mind it if he won. But I'll go Mark Davis. Now, the one title that I think may have an opportunity, and I'll start this one just because I'm going to start it up this way. The TBS Championship, Hikaru Shida versus Maya World. And I would hate, first off, was Willow Nightingale actually injured? Because her recovery was like she was healed by a miracle apparently, because they made it seem like she was going to be out for a long time. They stripped the title from her, they took her out of the Owen Hart tournament, and then she's back within like a month. And I was like, if she was only going to be out for a month, I mean, shit, Thunder Rosa was out for much longer before they stripped the women's championship off of her. I don't like where this TBS title is placed. I feel like this was an unnecessary title change, and I honestly think they had to get the belt off of Willow because she was going to fight for the belt at Redemption, and I think we'll get to that match in a little bit. But Hikaru Shida is the champion. Maya World's the challenger. This is a very difficult predicament in my mind, because you just put the belt on Hikaru Shida, but Maya World is over with the fans. I feel like it would be a really good opportunity to give her this belt. In fact, I'm actually going to pick Maya World to win it. But man, I just hate these short reigns with this belt. But I feel like we're going to get another couple week reign, and Maya World will take the belt.
I really don't know how this match is going to go. It's such a weird match on the card that I feel just didn't have much build to it besides a week or two. On one hand, you kind of want to say that, Maya World has earned with the crowd response and feel that she needs that big win. At the same time, it's like maybe she needs a little bit more adversity against her before we get another big win. She'd have just got the belt a couple weeks ago. I mean, just the whole timing of the match is weird with these two competitors. On one hand, I'm like, man, sometimes you got to strike while the iron's hot. I feel Tony Khan has done a better job at that. There's been some instances in the past where maybe he didn't strike the iron when it was hot, and then when he did strike it, it was like, okay, well, now we really expected it. So it's like, why? We already knew it was going to happen. It's not as special or important. Maybe he changes that and he does give Maya World the win here. Again, it's such a weird match on the card. I think I'm gonna go Shida. I think I'm just gonna go Shida for this. I just think that we still have a little bit more story to write with the Maya World book, and before we give her a big win and a big title, maybe it can happen next month at Wembley. I don't know, but I just feel right now we're just not there yet. We're close, but I feel we just need a little bit more. We need to squeeze a little bit more of that out of the fruit before we get that title, that big one for.
Yep. Now, one championship that will most likely not be defended again on the card as the women's tag team championships. because they were defended last night on Dynamite, and a good match, by the way. I mean, the Sisters of Sin put on a valiant effort, but here's the problem that they've built with putting the women's world title on the Divine Dominion is who in their right mind is going to beat them. You've booked these ladies to be so strong that if you put a no-name tag team to beat them, they lose almost all momentum. Like everything that Megan Bayne and Lana Cross have is, they barely get enough TV time as it is as the champions. You take the belt off of them, I mean, they're going to get zero TV time. And so it's like, as much as I hate that they keep winning and there's no big feuds coming out of the women's tag team division, it's like we kind of got to keep the titles on them because they're the best thing that the tag team division has right now. Probably are they the only tag team that we have in the women's division? It feels like they're not really. I don't know. I've really soured on the women's tag team belts, and I hate it because I was so excited for it, and they're not doing anything with it. So we might as well get rid of them. They're never on the pay-per-view, or if they are, it's on the pre-show. So they need to call them the women's TV tag team belts because they only get defended on TV.
Or we'll defend it every 3 months tag team belt. I don't know.
It's bad. All right, next match. Speaking of the AEW International Champion, that weird 6-man ladder match is going to be for. The winner of that 6-man ladder match will fight the winner of this match, Kyle Fletcher versus Bandito. And I think this is set up pretty easily. Who do you think wins it?
To me, I think that I don't see a reason for really Bandito to win it right here. I'm going to go with Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah. So remind me again, Bandito pinned Kyle Fletcher last night, right? Or Bandito took the win over whatever match he had with he fought somebody in one last night.
I believe he did. Let me just double check that, but I'm pretty sure he did. Bandito defeated Kyle Fletcher and Okada, and Bandito got the win over Fletcher. Yes.
So just me being a smart mark, doesn't it not make sense? Bandito took the pin the paper leading up to the pay-per-view, so it's just pretty obvious that Kyle Fletcher wins on Sunday. I'm going Kyle Fletcher too. All right, next match. I don't like this match too. Cage and Copeland defend the AEW World Tag Team Championships in their home country against the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli and Pac. This is both of these tag team matches. I love that they're getting the Death Riders involved, but maybe I missed something. What exactly is the feud between these two teams? I don't get why this had to be a pay-per-view tag team championship match, but maybe you can enlighten me. Who wins it?
I really don't know.
What it was they wanted FTR to fight him here, as probably my guess, and FTR is now on hiatus or injured or retiring.
Yeah.
I don't know. And so they just had to throw something together. That's just my opinion.
This match is just kind of weird, but I don't see Cope and Cage losing the belt in Canada.
Right.
Not that they don't want to. They're not pulling a Bret Hart, but I just don't think Tony's going to book them to lose in Canada.
Right. And they're going to win. And I just wonder, do the Young Bucks come out and set up the match at Wembley now, or do they wait till Wednesday and we get a showdown between Cage and Cope and then the Young Bucks, and then that's when the Motor City Machine Guns come out? And the New Day won't come out next week because they're not free. They're still locked in their 90 days until August 3rd. So they still have an additional week before they're technically free agents. So my
I think
big
we. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think eventually we get that big ladder match that we were talking about at Wembley, where it was going to be FTR versus Cage and Copeland versus the New Day. I think we get that, but instead it's Cage and Copeland versus the New Day versus the Young Bucks versus the Motor City Machine Gun. Will probably be my opinion on what the big ladder match tag team match is going to be.
Yeah, I can see this kind of waiting until Wednesday to start taking shape. I can definitely see the Motor City Machine Guns making their debut on Wednesday. If the New Day, whatever they're going to be called, is going to make their debut, I may think Tony may wait until Wembley to make it happen. He may do it
Mm-hmm.
early to try to drive more ticket sales, but I think that he may want to try to have that bull in his chamber come Wembley, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's a four-way, and the team gets injured, and the New Day take their place. Who knows? I'm not sure.
Well, to me, I agree with you on this that the New Day will show up like at Wembley, um, because they're going to do that callback to when the New Day, at the WrestleMania we went to in that big ladder match where when they announced the Hardys were coming back. Um, they're going to do that callback because Tony Khan is petty and likes to steal WWE stuff when he steals their talent. So I think I agree with you there. The New Day probably won't show up until Wembley Stadium. Um, and who knows if they lose the tag team match, Austin Creed may cost Kenny Omega the title. Let's talk about the AEW Women's World Championship match. Is there anything hotter in the women's division on any show than Tekla right now? I mean, she's burning every bridge in Japan that she can. She won her and the Triangle of Madness won the women's trios belt. I can't even remember what Stardom calls them. The Artist of
The
Stardom.
Artists of Stardom Championship, something like that.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So that she got kayfabe fired from Stardom, as invaded Stardom, taken their biggest women's tag team championship, and now she's fighting Willow Nightingale at Redemption. Who do you think wins this one?
As much momentum as Tekla has had, I think this is just a kind of a, I don't want to say it's a poorly booked match. It's a fine match, but again, it's like, why did we have Willow go and be injured and have her be stripped of the TBS title, put her out of the Owen Hart tournament, and then she magically gets a world title shot against Tekla, and Tekla is one of the best things in the women's division right now. And if she loses this match, what happens to her at Wembley? Is she going to go for the TBS title? I mean, it's a weirdly set, and it's kind of booked in a corner of, if Tekla loses, she deserves to be on a big stage at All in London, but doing what? And then, I mean, the obvious is right there that they're going to set up for Willow versus Mercedes for the women's belt at All In. And again, we may have another damn short reign where Willow beats Tekla and then next month loses it to Mercedes as she finally gets the one title that she's been derived of in AEW, the Women's World title. And it's just, I hate this shit. I hate the 1 to 2 month booking of title reigns. I just don't get it. It's almost like we're playing hot potato with these belts. It's almost like we don't really have a long-term story of it. But hey, we're gonna do a 1 month arc and a 1 month feud because it makes sense. And it's not just AEW that does it. WWE is guilty of it, and plenty of other companies are guilty of it. But it's almost like we're not sure of things, and we need to quickly switch things up so that way it does make sense. But then it's like, well, it may make sense, but it's all being rushed, and it just doesn't have a natural feel to it. It just feels like a smorgasbord hodgepodge of booking.
Yep.
So I think Willow wins, and I kind of hate that for Tekla because she deserves to be the world champion going into a big show like Wembley. Problem is if Tekla wins, who's the face? And I'm not saying you have to. I know that we've kind of had the discussion of you don't have to always have a face and a heel. Tekla probably would be cheered maybe a little bit more since it's in Europe, but maybe Mercedes because she's more internationally known. I don't know. It'd be kind of an interesting match to have between Mercedes and Tekla at All in London. Um, but it's just this is such a, just an odd match, odd time of the year, odd show, month before the biggest show of the year, and it's like I really don't know who wins, but I kind of have to go with Willow.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see the purpose of bringing Willow back, giving her a title opportunity just to not let her win the belt. Um, because Willow is a fan favorite, and like you said, their bookings right there. There's just natural. There's a natural story between Willow and Mercedes because of their history with time in New Japan and all of that, and the feud that they've had in AEW, and it's just there. And man, I hate it because I agree with you. I think Willow's going to win this, and it's terrible because, like you said, you're going to throw Tekla out there and to this place of where does she fit on the Wembley card, and maybe the idea is to send her and Sky and Julia to Stardom for a little bit and do some stuff over there. But man, she really deserves to have a big match on our biggest show in Wembley Stadium, and it would suck if she doesn't get something there. But I just don't see the purpose of putting Willow Nightingale in this opportunity just to have her lose. Um, and so yeah, I got to go with Willow Nightingale here, and we're going to get that 1 month reign, and I think this is indicative of the sickness of AEW's women's booking, whether it be the women's title, the TBS title, the women's tag team. It feels like if it's not Toni Storm and it's not Mercedes Moné, there's really not a solid picture of what the women's division is. And so maybe we need a doctor to come and save the company, save the women's division. Britt Baker. No, I'm just kidding.
Nope.
She's never showing up again. All right, that gets us to just the most random main event on AEW pay-per-view history. Like this is just like if you did WWE 2K Dynasty mode and you were just picking random guys to be in your main event of your pay-per-view and in your GM mode. Kenny Omega defends the belt against the TNT champion Kevin Knight. Wacky world title opportunity here. I mean, and it's pretty obvious. I think at least Kenny's not losing this match, right?
So, um, this is the other thing that I had a gripe with is Kevin Knight's a great talent.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying he's not a deserving of a main event spot on the pay-per-view. Obviously, Tony Khan has a lot of stock into him, making him the TNT champion. He's now had the most defenses in a TNT title reign of the history of the title, and most successful reigns or defenses as well. Great athlete, great character. I think he's definitely grown over the last year, character-wise. He was already a really good wrestler and all that good stuff. But why is this the main event? Why is this the main event? And again, and that makes it may sound like I'm throwing shade and disrespect towards Kevin Knight's way. It's not the case at all. Like I said, I hyped him up. He's a great talent, and he is deserving of a main event spotlight. And he's the future of the AEW, and we'll probably have many more main event matches and pay-per-view matches in the years to come. But why here? Why now? I just feel like this is just kind of a throwaway main event. We all know Kenny's going to win it. To me, this doesn't drive up the ticket sales. Kenny fighting in the main event, of course, will help with the Canadian crowd. But at the same time, it's like you can't just throw anybody in there and say, hey, Kenny's in the main event, Canadian boy, he's going to drive ticket sales. And that's not, to me, that's not the case. I don't know who you could have put in the spot. So that's a fair point there of, okay, well, who'd you replace him with? I don't know if I have a guy at the moment in my head, unless you do a rematch between him and MJF. But are you going to have MJF take 2 losses in 2 pay-per-views in a row?
Right.
I don't think so, and I think he's hurt, so he needed the time off. I just not
Right.
saying you could. I'm not saying you couldn't have had a world title match on this pay-per-view. It's fine to have it, but it's just not the right match, and it's not
Right.
one that to me is going to make people go, I have to tune in for this pay-per-view, and I have to tune in or have to buy a ticket to watch this match. Um,
This is
yeah,
this is one of these pay-per-views where I'd almost be okay not having the world title defended on the show because it's your first rendition of the show. It's not one of your main pillar shows, so it's not like, and then again, just having a world title match just for the sake of putting the world title on the card. I mean, does it build your world title? And maybe I don't know. Does it build the prestige of the belt? Does Kenny Omega gain anything from beating Kevin Knight? Uh, Not really. I mean, he got everything he needed when he beat MJF, which is why my biggest gripe with this is this should have been MJF versus Kenny Omega at this pay per view and not and Kenny should have won it at this pay per view and not on some random free television. And I guess the I guess the idea was MJF's injury was more severe than they thought, and they just wanted to take the belt off of him. And then there's been rumors that MJF is um like a big fan of Kevin Knight, and he helped push for Kevin Knight to get this match. Which fine, whatever. Kevin, like you said, Kevin Knight is a great talent, one of the best talents AEW has, and is going to be a someone that AEW better lock down once his contract ends because WWE is going to be wanting Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight reminds me a lot of Trick Williams. And my question is, now obviously Kenny Omega is going to win, but there's a couple people that aren't on this show that have made random appearances on Dynamite here recently and then just disappeared. One being Hangman Adam Page, one being Swerve Strickland. Like, what happens to them? Like, why did they show back up just to disappear again? You would, and especially with Hangman saying he's coming for every title, it almost makes you feel like, and this is my big hot take here, I guess if you call it a hot take. I, I think Hangman has to have a part in either this match or the aftermath of this match. And so Hangman shows up. It wouldn't surprise me if Swerve showed up at the end of this, and it's like a stare down between Kenny and Kevin and Swerve, and uh, it wouldn't surprise me if they kicked Kevin Knight out of the Don Callis family at the end of this match. Um, and it wouldn't surprise me if Kevin Knight joined sides with Swerve Strickland. Like, there's so much that like could happen. My problem with this is this doesn't have to be for the belt. This could have been done on Dynamite or on Collision, and we could have, or Kenny Omega could have just, uh, you could, somebody else could have had this opportunity. And because I mean Kevin Knight, he's the TNT title, and I hate it that belt out of every belt that gets defended on Sunday, the TNT title's not on the line, and so yeah, the TNT title holder is in the main event, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this matchup. I think it's a good story for Kevin Knight, and there's a lot that can happen within the match, and there's a lot of stuff that can happen, side stories and stuff that you can maybe build to Wembley Stadium, but I don't know. I don't like that the world title's on the line here. I would have almost rather had Kevin Knight be in the main event defending the TNT championship rather than fighting for another guy's belt. Um, any last words before we kind of close up for tonight, my friend?
um, not really. I mean, while I feel like it's kind of a subpar pay-per-view card-wise, AEW for the most part they usually deliver anyways, but it seems like on the cards that feel kind of subpar, not a whole lot of build and hype to them, they over deliver.
Right.
So I expect that to happen on Sunday. Um, should be a good card. And maybe we get some answers Sunday during the show that could lead us to having a little bit better, clear picture heading into Wednesday and starting to build for All in London. Um, we're gonna have a big get together for All in London. I'm excited about that. Um, that'll be fun next month. So that'll be fun. So I'm looking forward to that show next month. But I think Sunday will be a good show. I found out apparently is NXT going head to head with All in London. I think is what I heard.
Uh,
Heat Wave is on the same time as All in London.
yes. So they're running Heat Wave head to head. Dumb decision, by the way, guys. Dumb
Very
decision,
dumb
by the way.
decision. That makes
You're
no
gonna have
sense. But
you're gonna have 3 people in the stadium and 4 people watching on TV,
yeah,
because every wrestling fan is going to tune in for All in London. I don't
you
every
could
re-
have waited till 7 or 8 o'clock, had your own time frame. Everybody could be tuning over, watching afterwards. You could have owned the nighttime portion of it, been the last show of the night, and had more maybe people talking about that. But
but it gets better. The pay-per-view afterwards, they're not only are they running head to head on the same night
that's
at the
right,
same
all
time,
out. Yep.
they're running in the same fucking city as All Out in Chicago. So if you live in Chicago and you got to go anywhere that day, you probably need to leave 5 hours early because traffic's going to be a bitch. You got 2 wrestling shows that night in the
Did
same city.
did they say where the venue is for the NXT show, or is that a
Now
AAA show?
it's I think it's a AAA NXT.
Worlds Collide or something like that?
Yeah, and I think it's at the Now Arena.
No, that's where AEW is at.
Oh, that's right.
I don't have the. Here, let me see real
Allstate,
quick.
is that a stadium there? Allstate Arena, Allstate Center. I can't. It's not the big one. It's not the NBA stadium. I don't think.
Let's see. WWE announced Worlds Collide in Chicago on September 26th. Same date, same city as All Out, Allstate Arena.
Allstate Arena. Oh, it is Allstate. Yeah, Allstate Arena.
Let's look at something real quick. Allstate
The home,
Arena.
yeah, yeah. It's the hockey stadium there, and the AHL stadium.
The Now Arena and the Allstate Arena are 36 minutes away from each other, 20 miles away.
Whew. Have fun. Yeah.
That's going to be a real fun day.
And then
So,
let's add a third one to the trilogy of WWE counterbooking. They're so scared during Riyadh season when they go to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for WrestleMania, that they're booking up watch parties in big cities around the United States, because, and this is legit what they've reported, because they are anticipating AEW to do something that weekend. And so they want to go ahead and announce that they're doing some stuff that weekend in the States to hope that WWE fans who wouldn't even watch an AEW show anyway don't tune in to an AEW show, or don't go to it. And then they booked up MSG because they announced that early because they thought that maybe Tony Khan would run MSG for a show WrestleMania weekend. So uh, for a company that apparently you're not in competition against, you sure are scared of them booking in your main area. So kind
they're
of
running
crazy.
an NXT show, a AAA show that weekend, and then the watch party at the Infosys Theater at MSG. I don't think they've announced it, but are they charging anything for the watch party?
I don't know if they are or not, but my
I
understanding
would
is
think they are because they're
they
running
might.
at an Infosys Theater. So that's not going to be a general admission place. That's going to be you're going to buy a $10 ticket to watch this
Right.
watch party. That's my guess. And if that's the case, I hope it fails miserably because that's ridiculous.
But
Um,
here's the thing that I've heard. The rumor is it's not just going to be in New York City. They're going to have watch parties around, like in Orlando and LA and in Dallas, doing the same exact thing. So basically, I think you're right. You're probably going to have to buy a ticket and you're going to sit in some movie theater and watch WrestleMania on the movie theater screen. So, yeah, who knows what's going on. Um, like I said, for a company that apparently you're not competing against, you sure are counterbooking them a lot. Which Tony Khan
Yeah.
seems to, he's been media trained to not fight back a bit.
Now, if I'm Tony Khan, yes, I'm definitely doing something that weekend. The biggest question is where. Now, obviously, MSG is out the ballpark. I wouldn't do it at a stadium, as tough as that's going to be. This is my opinion. If you really want to drive WWE crazy, there's still plenty of time in between now and then, so there's a chance that it could be booked beforehand. But if I'm AEW, I am taking a huge risk and a huge shot at not only doing something competing on WrestleMania weekend in the States, but doing it at a place that so far has not hosted a wrestling show in a big market that would drive a lot of attention, a lot of eyes, tourism. Book a, if it's April, that's a dynasty, unless you want to mix your pay-per-views up a little bit. I don't think you want to do an all-in. I would not do that. Don't do it. Leave it as is. Run a dynasty or flip Double or Nothing to April, whatever you want to do. Run it at the Sphere in Vegas.
Mm. Yep.
Nobody has touched that venue for wrestling. I know it's expensive as hell. That would be to me a slam dunk to captivate eyeballs, to get people to be like, "Oh, what is this?"
And that's in TKO's backyard.
Absolutely. Yep. That would drive such a wedge in TKO endeavor, WWE. To me, that would be a huge risk in a way, but it'd be to me something that would be that is a spot that I would be all over for. Is all right, figure out how much it is, take that swing, and let's swing for the fences, because that would be a perfect place to do something on WrestleMania weekend in North America. It's a big enough venue. I think it holds about 15, 17, 18,000 people. But like I said, there's been no wrestling show there as of now. WWE could certainly do something between now and April, but make it be a pay-per-view if you want. And that would be perfect in my opinion.
And to be completely honest, this would be fun if it's just like you create a one-off pay-per-view that for that weekend, and make it a big, like, have Dynamite run Vegas, have Collision run Vegas, have all the indie shows. And this, Tony Khan's doing good at putting all those indie shows on my AEW. Run all of those live on my AEW and drive traffic to your stuff. Let all the indie shows do all the stuff that they usually do WrestleMania weekend that they're not going to be able to do in Saudi Arabia, and create an event that you probably get a lot of eyes on AEW that weekend if you made it a big event and not just another pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'll let them do it. Let them captivate on that, on that. Make it your own WrestleMania type weekend. Just AEW instead of WrestleMania. If you want to call it All in Vegas, you could probably do 2 All-Ins in a year. It'd be kind of weird, but do whatever you want to do, because I think that would be. I mean, that is one of the biggest opportunities AEW has, is WrestleMania weekend next year. And I know they've already probably have had plenty of conversations internally about what to do, where to do it, what can we do. I don't know about the Dynamite and Collision, just because you may be forcing people to pick and choose,
right?
And that may suffer the ticket sales. You can have Collision somewhere else, or you can do a double taping and do maybe Dynamite and Collision in Los Angeles, and then shoot up to Vegas for the big. I don't know, but every big weekend should be interesting.
It is. And speaking of interesting, this weekend, is bound to be interesting. Special start time for this pay-per-view, 7:00 start time, which means the buy-in is a 6:00 buy-in. I believe the only thing announced for the buy-in right now is that they're dedicating the buy-in to 80 years of pro wrestling with the Rougeau family. But Tony Khan, he likes to add 85 other matches on Saturday, the day before the show. So stay tuned to Collision for the rest of the show that we can't predict on this show. And Tony Khan, I just got one question for you. When are you going to put the women's tag team belts on the fucking main card of a pay-per-view? Also, stop putting the AEW World Title on free TV. Anyways, we'll see you next week with the recap and the fallout from Redemption. And we'll give it back to my man for the final words of the night.
Appreciate the 7:00 start time. That still may mean we go to midnight. Hopefully not. We'll see. Would like earlier start times from here on out. I know next month will be a 3 p.m. start time because it's in London, but here in America, 7's good.
And then the good news is is it Full Gear or All Out?
I know Full Gear for sure, but I don't know about All Out. They'll start going to Saturdays now,
those are even better.
I love those. I love those. Wish we do them all year.
Yeah.
But yes, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share, do all those fun stuff. And we will catch you guys next week for the fallout of Redemption. And until then, my son's already definitely been doing it. So hopefully you guys do the same. Stay saucy, friends.
This is wrestling without the filter. This is beyond the junkyard. This is wrestling without the filter. This is beyond the junkyard. Not just the pain, not just the scars. Yeah, this ain't backyard. This is war beyond the junkyard.